Welcome back to my channel. The wrestling world is charged with an energy that fans have not felt in a long time, and the reason behind this excitement is the growing belief that one of the most important and influential figures in professional wrestling history may be on the verge of returning to WWE right as a brand new year begins. This situation goes far beyond the usual speculation that circulates online. It is not just idle chatter or hopeful fan fantasy. Instead, it stands as one of the strongest and most believable pieces of spoiler information to emerge in years. At the center of it all is Chris Jericho, a performer known worldwide for constantly evolving, reinventing himself, and staying relevant across multiple generations of wrestling. As his current contract with AEW is expected to expire on December 31, 2025, all signs point toward the possibility of him stepping back into a WWE ring very soon afterward. Several reliable sources suggest that WWE is actively considering bringing him back as early as January 5, 2026, a date that also happens to mark the one-year anniversary of Monday Night Raw premiering on Netflix. That alone makes the situation even more intriguing, because this particular episode of Raw is already being positioned as a major event, and a Jericho appearance would instantly elevate it into one of the most talked about shows in modern WWE history. The potential implications of this move are enormous. Fans and analysts alike are wondering how Jericho's return could shape WWE's storytelling as the company heads into WrestleMania season. Questions are being raised about why WWE would want to bring him back immediately rather than waiting for a later moment, and what exact role he could realistically play in a roster that is already packed with established stars and rising talent. These are not small questions, and they deserve detailed examination. That is exactly what we are doing here, breaking down every angle, every motivation, and every possible outcome surrounding this developing story. Welcome back to Suplex Saga, a channel dedicated to examining the biggest stories in wrestling with in-depth analysis, thoughtful projections about fan reactions, and creative storyline possibilities that often get overlooked elsewhere. Today's discussion focuses on one of the most debated topics in the industry right now, the looming return of Chris Jericho to WWE, what his presence would mean for Monday Night Raw, and why January 5th might be the ideal moment for such a monumental comeback. If you enjoy content that dives deep rather than skimming the surface, this is exactly the place for you, and now it is time to explore the situation step by step. To understand why this story carries so much weight, we first need to focus on the confirmed facts. Chris Jericho has not appeared on AEW television since April 2025. His last on-screen moment came when he lost the Raw Championship to Bandito, a match that served as a clear write-off from weekly programming. Since then, Jericho has been absent from AEW shows for an extended period, a break that stands out because it is far longer than any hiatus he has taken in recent years. Many insiders believe this absence is not simply a creative decision designed to refresh his character. Instead, it appears to reflect significant developments happening behind the scenes. Multiple reports indicate that Jericho's AEW contract is scheduled to expire at midnight on December 31, 2025. Once that deadline passes, he would legally be free to sign with WWE or any other promotion without restrictions. As this date has approached, fans have paid close attention to Jericho's public behavior, especially on social media and during live appearances. Rather than shutting down speculation, his actions have only added fuel to the fire. He has avoided making any firm statements denying the rumors, and during a YouTube live stream, his response to questions about the future was a simple and cryptic comment, "You never know." Coming from someone as experienced and media savvy as Jericho, that response speaks volumes. It neither confirms nor denies anything, but it keeps the door wide open, and that uncertainty is part of what makes the situation so compelling. Another critical element in this story is the timing. January 5, 2026, is not just another episode of Raw. It marks the one-year anniversary of WWE Raw debuting on Netflix, a major milestone for the company's global streaming strategy. WWE has already signaled that this show will be treated as a special event, with major matches and moments designed to draw attention. One of the highlights already announced is Braun Breaker challenging CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, which alone gives the episode a premium feel. Adding a surprise return by Chris Jericho on top of that would transform the show into something truly unforgettable. From a business and creative perspective, the logic behind such a move is easy to understand. WWE thrives on moments that generate buzz, and milestone events are the perfect platform for shocking returns. Reports from multiple wrestling news outlets suggest that WWE officials are actively discussing the possibility of Jericho appearing on this specific date. When respected journalists and insiders from different corners of the industry all point in the same direction, it significantly increases the credibility of the story. This is not simply fans connecting dots, it is a situation supported by consistent and overlapping reports. Chris Jericho is not just another veteran wrestler. He is a global brand, a performer whose name recognition alone can draw viewers, sell merchandise, and spark intense online discussion. Throughout his career, every return to WWE has had a noticeable impact, whether he came back as a villain, a hero, or something in between. His ability to adapt his character to the era he is in has allowed him to remain relevant far longer than most of his peers. From his debut in 1999 as Y2J to his later runs that included world championships and iconic feuds, Jericho has repeatedly proven his value. For WWE, there are several clear motivations for bringing him back quickly rather than waiting. The Netflix anniversary show is a major opportunity to create a viral moment that extends beyond the wrestling audience. A surprise Jericho return would be covered widely across sports and entertainment media, helping WWE reach viewers who might not normally tune in. Additionally, the timing aligns perfectly with the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season, when WWE traditionally ramps up its most ambitious storytelling. Jericho's presence could add layers of legacy, history, and emotional depth to storylines during this critical period. There are also reports suggesting that WWE has discussed the possibility of offering Jericho a retirement-focused storyline if he returns. Such an angle would elevate his role beyond a short-term cameo and allow the company to craft a meaningful narrative that honors his career while also elevating other talent. Jericho's arrival could intersect with the ongoing dynamics involving CM Punk and Braun Breaker, opening the door to fresh matchups, promos, and long-term feuds that feel both new and rooted in wrestling history. Despite being in his mid-50s, Jericho still brings tremendous value to any roster. While he may not perform at the same physical pace as he did in his younger years, his strengths have always extended beyond athleticism. His ability to tell stories, connect with audiences, and adapt his persona remains unmatched. Few wrestlers in history have reinvented themselves as many times as Jericho, and each transformation has felt authentic to its era. A WWE return at this stage would not simply be about nostalgia. It could serve multiple purposes, such as positioning him as a mentor figure, leading a faction, anchoring feuds that elevate younger stars, or even making a credible run in the world title picture under the right circumstances. The evidence supporting this potential return continues to mount. Several reputable outlets have confirmed the expiration date of Jericho's AEW contract. Others have reported that WWE is actively considering the January 5th Raw anniversary as the moment to bring him back. Additional sources believe his return to WWE television is imminent, even if the exact details remain under wraps. Jericho's own carefully chosen words have only added to the sense that something significant is on the horizon. When industry veterans and journalists acknowledge that expectations are leaning heavily toward a WWE alignment, it reinforces the seriousness of the situation. With all of this in mind, fans have begun to speculate about how WWE might book Jericho's return. One popular theory is that he could immediately position himself as a threat to the World Heavyweight Championship, inserting himself into the ongoing story involving Punk and Breaker. Another idea is that he could return as the leader of a new faction, or even revive elements of past groups to reshape the locker room hierarchy. Some believe WWE might use him primarily as a mentor to emerging stars, framing storylines around the clash between legacy and the next generation. There is also the possibility that WWE could keep him hidden until the Royal Rumble, creating a massive surprise entrance, although many insiders think the Netflix anniversary show offers a bigger and more strategic platform. If Jericho does appear on Raw on January 5th, it would do more than mark his return. It would set the tone for WWE programming throughout 2026. WrestleMania season thrives on moments that feel historic and emotionally charged, and Jericho's involvement could accelerate existing feuds or spark entirely new ones. A carefully paced storyline could build toward a major WrestleMania match or payoff, potentially becoming one of the highlights of the year. Regardless of the exact direction WWE chooses, bringing back a legend of Jericho's caliber would have ripple effects across the entire roster. This story also has implications beyond WWE. Jericho has been a foundational figure in AEW since its launch in 2019, and his absence combined with his contract expiration signals a shift within that company as well. While AEW leadership has expressed openness to him returning someday, the current creative focus appears to be elsewhere. If Jericho does move back to WWE, AEW may respond by adjusting its own narratives, pushing different talent, and reshaping its promotional approach. That aspect of the story deserves its own discussion, but it highlights just how influential Jericho remains across the industry. Now it is time to turn the conversation over to you. Do you want to see Chris Jericho back in WWE? Would you prefer his return to happen on the January 5th Raw Netflix anniversary, or should WWE save the surprise for the Royal Rumble? What role do you think suits him best at this stage of his career? Your opinions and theories are a huge part of this discussion, and they help shape future conversations here on the channel. Chris Jericho's potential return to WWE is not a minor rumor or a passing headline. It has the potential to become one of the most significant wrestling stories of early 2026. With his AEW contract expiring, WWE eyeing a strategic date, and multiple credible reports aligning, the momentum behind this story continues to grow. We have explored the confirmed facts, examined the